Your host, Jennifer. This is youtube.com/ I am just Jen, aka my being Jen. So I'm walking toward where my car is parked, safely in an area where there's no parking restrictions. I can't have her parked near where I live because of the vandalism that's already happened with having to replace the back windshield. And because I don't know what to do with the car because she's not finished with the work she needs done on her, I've had to find a safe place to keep her. But today, being Canada Day, I'd say Happy Canada Day, but I'm not entirely sure what that means in a country full of criminals. Right down to how I've been had over the car. Anyway, the Superwoman van is still outstanding on the other side as well in Toronto where I'm paying parking. Because I like both of my vehicles, we've arrived. I decided to spend Canada Day, part of it, with my car. So I'm gonna unlock her, battery's working, unlock the other side. I'm gonna take my backpack off, put her in passenger seat. I'm probably going to drive the car over to the park. There's a park nearby. Because she's in the shade, she's actually one of the luckiest cars in the city. Because it's not hot in there. When I came outside, it was so hot, it was crazy. Oh, I got a bunch of goodies in here. I'm celebrating my just over 4 months post-recovery from the gastric bypass revision. So I got my cucumber melon drink in there, which I thought it was gonna wait till I was 6 months out. But because I'm leaving to go to Gatineau, Quebec, my other apartment on the other side of the country, I decided I would drink it today on Canada Day. So I'm getting into the car now. It's actually pretty good. That she's been sitting in the shade all this time and I can actually get in right away. You know those stories where you see it in the comedy movies where people have to open the car doors because they forgot to put the sunglasses in the window and they have to wait 15 minutes before they can even get in because everything's so hot you're gonna fry your butt like an egg in a frying pan? That's not the case with my car. So I've tried to put a ad up on the Facebook market looking for offers for fair trades because the value of her parts alone is like $7,000 in parts. But everybody is always just looking to make a deal. I had one guy who had the nerve to get angry enough to try to ask me to contact him when I was ready to sell her for $500. It's a Volvo. Right? And she's a year where they had at point just made the best Volvo outside of station wagon era they could have possibly made. And every day goes by, there's less and less of this make and model on the road that people can buy. So I decided, odds are I'm going to keep her and invest in fixing the transmission because she'll be worth the investment in the long run for my daughter turning 16 as a first car because Volvos are very expensive. You know, the top of the line Volvo today is $90,000. So I think a few $1,000s investment is a far cry from the expense of buying a brand new one, which have those computer screens in the front here, which is why I don't buy those kind. See, this one even does the phone. You can use it to phone yourself, but I can't stand the computer screen things here. I much prefer having the movie screen in the back for the guests to watch or whatever. So I'm going to stay with that model. But the reason I made this video today is essentially because today is the 5-year anniversary. 5 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 years since I actually finished writing the first draft of the Smallville reunion movie. Both books, the whole thing, book 1 and 2. I finished it on Canada Day in 2020 during COVID. During lockdown, I'm like, well, there's nothing else to do. I guess I should just pull up my shoe straps here and get this done. So I sat in my room at the YMCA where I was living in Ottawa, and I wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote for 2 weeks until the manuscript was finally done in first draft. And of course, since then, I have finished the first book, the editing and fine tuning and stuff. And I sent a copy just recently of that finished copy to John Schneider Studios in Louisiana. And then I sent another set of stuff in the mail to him after that, with pictures and things of when I was younger and what I look like, around another character I want him to play that I'm hoping he'll accept, that I sent with that manuscript, called A Father's Daughter. Also to help jog his emotions in character of Bo Duke and the memory of Dukes of Hazzard, because when I was really young, you would never know that I wasn't his daughter or sister. Like, you just would think we were family. And I want that impact. I want that emotional effect on him when he decides what he's going to do with that material. So I'm antsy. I'm excited. But I don't want to be disillusioned, because it's been 5 years, on whether or not Tom is actually ever going to get his hands on the manuscript and read it. Cher once was talking about, Val Kilmer making a break in the industry and how the industry can be hurtful and ruin a person's career, basically, before they even get to start to have one. And essentially, it's like blacklisting somebody when they haven't done anything wrong yet. Essentially, like, if you don't do things the way they want you to do it, if you're not hobnobbing with the right people in the right places, then you don't exist, and you're not going to get any attention. We're not going to say your name or mention your work or talk about you, like, because it doesn't pay them to do that, right? It's not going to give them a break. I'm going to put the key in my ignition. I'm boiling hot now. I got to start her up, and I got to open some windows. But point is, Cher helped Val Kilmer get his breaks. She knew people and asked them to give him a break or give him a shot at auditions of things, because he didn't feel like he was doing well in the work that he was doing based on what it is he wanted to do. And some of them just didn't think he had certain something, and maybe it was just lack of experience being so young or whatever. But it worked. Her supporting him and helping him did lead to his getting breaks that finally got him to, that big role of Batman Forever. But I say he should have stayed in New York. He should have stayed with Broadway, the focus of theater, like the reason for going to Juilliard. So I have decided that I would just rather wait it out to the point where I'm at an age, which would be now, where I'm too old for somebody to be smarter and knowing more, being able to direct or instruct my work, or make conclusions about it when they don't have the education, the knowledge, the experience, or the history that I now have at 50, so that in the end, I'm the person people will start seeking and coming after for information and answers. Essentially, Tom has no work. He can't really go back to playing Clark without the work I've written, because I am the one that wrote it. They are making stuff around Superman and Supergirl out there, but it's not good, and most people know that it's not good, and people are watching it like because there's nothing else to watch, or because they're desperate or whatever, out of curiosity. Like, James Gunn's never been that good of a producer, but people still keep giving him money to make movies, and we are like 50-50 when we go to the theaters and we see one of his movies on whether or not we should watch it, because we want to watch a movie, we're there, so we have to pick something. But really, he's ruined the legacy of Superman. If you look at the person playing Superman in this movie, and then you look at Christopher Reeves, you see the soul in his eyes, you see the shine and the light and the love that's there, the proof that God exists and that God is love, and that without that you can't be a superhero. You can't be somebody or do something that requires a God who is the creator of all things in order to save the world and help people and do good. Bad isn't good, and it doesn't matter which way you slice it. You can't make bad look good when bad looks as bad is. And that's sort of what's happening with the actors that are being given the roles that they're playing today. Like, if you've never read the Bible, if you've never prayed, never been to church, or if you even try to not believe and you want to play a superhero, it's going to come across to those that know otherwise, who have common sense to know otherwise, that it's not believable and that doesn't make sense. But then there's also the acting, and then there's also the script writing, and then there's also the budgeting. So I'm kind of happy that by fate, all of James' movies got made before my work got discovered. I am looking forward to the bidding war between the biggest producers over the Supergirl trilogy. Never mind the Smallville movie. What I like about my Smallville movies, I can just go ahead and make an animated cartoon. I can use local Canadian actors and producers to make movies out of You've Got Mail 2 and all of the other stuff here in Canada, or even go to Europe. But I don't have to worry about accepting offers or getting my work made by producers like James Gunn, right? Like, I'll never give him one of my movies to make, because I've seen enough of his mistakes, and he wouldn't know masterpiece if it fell on his head like he claims he would. Oh, if it's a masterpiece, I'll make it. Well, first you have to know what a masterpiece is and recognize it. And so it just baffles me how Hollywood thinks so much of themselves just because they have more people in their landmass. Our land masses are almost the same size. You just have more people in it. That doesn't make you superstars. That doesn't mean that the rest of the world hasn't moved on or moved ahead or developed in the industry. And learning how to make movies and do music and other things. While that's one of the reasons there's a disconnection, because the information from other countries is no longer coming over here. So we're not sharing the success back in, like it was in the day where you relied on what's coming from other countries in order to make a success everywhere for everyone. Now you don't have to do that. You can stay right where you are and make a living and have a nice career your whole life and not need to go to California and try basically just short of having your blood sucked out of you to get work. But I am pretty anticipatory that if I keep sending stuff to John Schneider, knocking on the door of his heart, that at some point he will cave and say, okay, we'll work together. I'll do this. I'll play Richard Pryor, and we'll do A Father's Daughter. And that at some point, that Smallville reunion movie may actually get made into a Hollywood movie with different actors. Like, there's nothing to stop Henry Cavill from playing Superman. In all of my work, essentially, we could have the whole series of stuff all connected through Henry playing it, because he's about to have his first child. So the timing is literally perfect for all of the storyline that I have. And of course, with Donald Trump being president, second term, and the fact that my trilogy for Supergirl was finished in 2016, before I wrote my Smallville reunion movie, plays in well as also because I had written Donald Trump into the Supergirl trilogy. He was in my movie back when it was finished in 2016. I have to laugh because he didn't let himself read the movie script. When I tried to contact them, they had that same old ritual. Oh, if it's unsolicited, we can't accept it. And I'm like, why would Donald Trump not read a movie script or an offer to be in a movie if he's not a famous actor? The unsolicited rule is for people who are already working in the industry, performing in the industry. If you're not a successful person in the entertainment industry, then you have no reason to not allow yourself to read it. So I'm saying he's run for president because he didn't have any work to do, because he didn't have the ability to help support the movie get made, put money into it, read it, get excited, want to play himself in it, and be a part of it back then. And so I have to shake my head at Hollywood industry rules and that whole unsolicited garbage that went on, because now you guys have a bigger problem with Donald Trump as president in the White House. And he's in the White House because he's still looking for me. And they're still not accepting mail even at the White House and giving it to him. Like, you can send it and they won't send it back to you, but they won't necessarily tell him. So he still doesn't know. So he still can't play himself or support my becoming governor and my ILS standard through my lifeguard international certification, or support making this movie, because he can't read the script. He can't help me so I can sit and proofread and edit to the final draft of the trilogy, and that's a lot of work. But I have a feeling that over the course of the next few months, after I wrote that tribute book for Val Kilmer and sent it to Helmel Studios, that something will give way. You know, that shoe will always eventually fall into place or drop, whatever. So I think that the trilogy will finally get to producers that will have the skill to be the ones to make the trilogy. And then I can have Donald bugging me about wanting to change parts in the movie script. But I didn't write him in as president because he wasn't president. So I don't essentially want to change that. But I'm, guessing he's going to be like, oh, can you write me in as the president of the United States? And I'm like, well, no, because the movie takes place in New York, where your headquarters are, and la-da-da-dee-da. So I think it'll be fun for him to be gesturing at me for that part. And then it would distract him from everything else in Hollywood, so people might, in the end, be thanking me. But shout out to Sylvester Stallone, Steven Seagal, Ben Affleck. I do look forward to meeting with you guys and working with you on projects. There is lots of crime in Canada, so there's lots of, crime movies. You guys can continue making what you've done, that you're so good at. And I don't mind the idea of Sylvester trying to bid on the Supergirl trilogy, because he's good enough. He's done enough movies. He's got the trilogy experience under his belt. I think we would have a successful Supergirl trilogy. As for my Smallville reunion movie and my Superwoman story, I think Bryan Singer would be the other great producer to look at. I think seeing Bryan Singer and Sylvester Stallone fighting over my Supergirl trilogy, my two Smallville movies, and the Superwoman story that has to come from that, on who she is, where she's been, what's going on, her two kids. And now, of course, we got to add in Superman, my fraternal twin brother's firstborn child. So it's pretty sweet. I think Bryan and Sylvester sort of hobnobbing it or fighting over the work would be fantastic. I think I could die a happy woman if I had that combination. And then as far as Steven Seagal goes, it's just about the crime that's in Canada that is out of control, that we don't have enough police force or special services people to help deal with, to make public and share with the world about the fact that it's dangerous to go out anywhere, and just about any time, but specifically there are places even more dangerous if you're a girl, Aboriginal, or young. And I think the best thing to do is to sort of open that can of worms with the right publicity and attention, with the right people who have the skill to talk about it, so that the whole world knows about it, so that people can be aware of what is going on, to know, be careful if you're going to come here on a vacation, or send one of your young adult children here on vacation. There was literally a girl that came from Australia here to BC up north to go tree planting. She's an earth lover, tree hugger, and she got killed. She was murdered by one of the serial killers having to do with the Highway of Tears up there. She didn't get to go home. And I think to this day, that's one of the reasons we're seeing so much forest fires. I think there's a part of God that's really mad about the blood that's crying out from the ground for the unknown number of dead that have actually taken place in this country. So it all comes down to how important making movies is, and having TV shows that are funny, comedy, because we do need to escape. Laughter is a form of medicine. It's important. Life does imitate art, art imitates life. But we also have to be very careful on what we're doing and drawing the line so that we don't go overboard and, cause bloodshed and crime to happen. I think if there was a TV show that talked about these kind of deathly crimes and it just stayed focused on that, then we wouldn't have to make so much gory stuff, which we shouldn't be reading about and having in our brains when we're already being flooded with all the negative news. We need to balance it. We need to make sure people know that there is a blue sky and that there is sun and that there's growing children and love and goodness in the world, and that there are good things to talk about and promote and produce as well. And so I'm hoping that if I switch to doing animated movies with everything, I could even see Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan taking on their original roles of Joe Fox and Kathleen Kelly in the first one, and doing it as the animated series. And I think everybody would love that switch up. I also think I like the idea of You've Got Mail 2 turning into a stage act, a stage show, a theater, because the original play is what inspired Nora Ephron to turn it into a movie called You've Got Mail. It wasn't called You've Got Mail, and it wasn't originally a movie. It was a theater production that she had liked, that was inspiring, that made her write the movie script. So I think going the other way and doing animated would be good for our souls. Comedy, laughter, we need that. So yeah, so that's my 2 cents on how we deal with it, the world and everything that's going on in it, right? Taking everything one day at a time. We need music, we need books, we need good entertainment. We also need new flag. So I'm going to end my thoughts on that here. Heath Ledger passed away. As we know, lots of people passing away. I wrote a poem, and I did some other stuff, and part of that was connected to my family documentary. And I started researching symbols for the cover. Came across this Australian flag, ostrich, and a kangaroo, and it's Australian. And it occurred to me that that flag of peace would be one that we could all agree to fly and use the words Commonwealth separated in the middle with a hyphen, for the Commonwealth, as in for everyone, to have some peace, right? To not be haters but be lovers, to become acceptant of each other and our differences, and that it's okay to be different, and that we don't all have to be the same. I'm white, I'm also European, and I'm Blackfoot, and I like being who I am and the way I am, and I'm not going to be shamed out of liking who I am and the way I am. I like to eat meat. I love wild meat. I wish I could be a hunter. I love buffalo. I love rabbit. I love duck. I love goose. I love deer, moose, caribou. That's just okay to me. And it's okay for a person to just be allowed to be who they are and not be accosted because they don't want to switch or try, crossing over into some other culture or something. You don't have to. That's why we have different countries in different parts of the world. I want to go see Korea. I want to go to Japan, right? I want to visit these places and enjoy what is beautiful about there and them and their way of life. But that doesn't mean I want my whole world taken over by one group of people and suddenly there's no room for me to just be white, European, British, and Blackfoot. I want to be around to be allowed to be comfortable in my own shoes, doing my thing in my homeland. And so it's important that we work out a way to fly a flag that we can all agree on and come to terms with, that makes sense, and getting somewhere into a future that is better than what we're watching happening in the world now. like the riots in California and the stupid missiles going back and forth between Israel and Iran. And I mean, two wrongs don't make a right. Both are wrong. God is right. There's only one God, and that's not going to make anything people doing wrong right. God doesn't need weapons of war like that to fix his problems. God used angels in one night to get rid of 185,000 evil people while they slept overnight, gone. So we need to pray and have faith, and we need to come together, kind of like it was in the hippie era. And we're so much better off with that whole let's make love and peace thing than anything else. So I'm hoping that I can convince maybe King Charles. I can send that information to them. They can get that picture of the flag, and then we can find other people in New Zealand that fly the new flag with the words for the Commonwealth, for everyone, and see if we can get more countries to do that too. I think right on the heel of needing to make my movies after James Gunn's movies was a bust, and the TV show stuff was a bust, is right on par for the time in which we need all of this. So I'm going to enjoy my dinner over here and pray like crazy that this time Tom will actually mention my name and that we've met, had our picture taken together, and then he will get to see the Superwoman van and help invest in the restoration of her. This is my Verve gin smash cucumber melon drink that I'm going to drink before I go to Gatineau, Quebec. Obviously, I'm not drinking it now. I'm going to go drive the car over to where I'm going for a few hours. I'm not sure where I'm going to end up for fireworks or a show, but there's lots of places to go. Maybe I'll just go swimming. But I just wanted to make this video that I'm spending time with my Volvo. If anybody wants to help me with the Volvo, with the transmission work, anybody that's good at transmission work, they can contact me, because I sure could use the support and help. If I had the money from the movies I have written, the millions of dollars, I would have been out there like a dirty sheet being cleaned and hung in the line out in your yard after it's been washed, helping other people with things. I would be building recovery houses, treatment centers, small community of humble homes of off-grid living, and solving problems with that money. So hopefully, with the right help, I'll be able to get over that last hurdle so I can turn around and give back from the people that helped me get over that hurdle in order to be able to do that for others. So you guys have a good day. Stay safe. Enjoy fireworks from wherever you are. Enjoy July 4th, if that's your thing coming up. And I'm going to go and take a little drive with my car now and have a picnic in the park and get off the sticky seat. So that's it from me, from Now TV, for July 1st, Canada Day in Vancouver, BC, before I return back to Gatineau for some time off. Peace out, everybody. Have a good one. Bye. Subscribe, follow, email me, make requests, ask me questions. Superwoman signing out.